I don't think we could have a better guest on today. The number one undisputed champion of the world, Steven Giordano. I mean, the number one producer, Family First Life in 2020. Facing the number one producer, Family First Life, right now. Definitely going to hit over $1 million in this month. And this is 2/3 of the way through the year. And on pace to beat his last year number of 1.3. I think 7.2. I don't remember what it was. But, and then best month ever you're coming off of as a team. Over $650,000 in issue paid production. On your way to $1 million a month. Newly minted office. I mean, I don't know if it's getting better for you, buddy. Every time I say it, my smile gets brighter. But Steven Giordano, man, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, bro. It's an honor to be with you as always. I appreciate the kind introduction. And yeah, man, we got a lot to be excited about. A lot of work to do.
Yeah, I know that's right, man. We could start a myriad of places, but why don't we start with you guys coming off your best month ever and some of the things that have gone into that. I feel like it's clicking now more than it ever has. Talk to us a little bit about your journey as an agency builder.
Yeah, it was a good month, doing 640, a year ago with 82 writers. A year ago, we were about 360 with 22 writers. So you feel that kind of that turn where you're just getting, number one, more leaders coached up, and those leaders are now hiring, and they're also helping because when you have that many writers, one man can't kind of manage it all. So I have a lot of good leadership that is now honing in with their agents, talking with agents, really stepping up and helping people on the team. And there's just a lot of camaraderie. And one of the big things that I love about where we're headed, it's the culture of work. Obviously at FFL, we have that culture everywhere you look. We work, we kind of go above and beyond. But I'm seeing it a lot in guys like Tier, Orlando, knocking doors. And now their guys and girls are doing the same and following suit. Mm. And you're seeing it, and the wins are beginning to stack up. And now you're kind of getting that push where you're getting those bigger numbers. So I'm very, very proud of kind of the, I guess I'd say the culture and kind of the way a lot of people on the team are going about things. And now it's just really just pouring more into it. And one of the big things that I focus on now is just really cultivating the leaders. How do we empower the leaders, much like you did long ago with myself, to learn how to hire and build and not just be writers. And that's something that we're really, really focusing on. And I really think we're going to make an even bigger turn in the next 3, 4, 5 months.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I mean, one of the things, trying to get to 300 is hard. Because leadership, right? You need more people doing it with you. And around that number is where you start seeing some of that, with people with their hand raised. Like, yeah, I'm willing to run with you and get this thing rolling. And now what you're saying is you're seeing those people who had their hand raised months ago now starting to flourish into people that can take people from A to Z and help them do the same. What was it like trying to lay those bricks and trying to help? And not that you're looking for more of those men and women right now. So not like you've laid them and you're never going to lay them again. But what was it like to lay those bricks to get to that with this leadership group as you guys are trying to develop new leadership groups along the way?
I think one, you have to identify people that you believe can be the leader. And then you have to have the conversation around, what do they want? Kind of that sacrifice. What do they want? What are they willing to give up? And really just kind of cultivating some camaraderie around those leaders as well. Like we do a leadership call every week, and it's one of my favorite things of each week because I know it's laying the foundation for where we're headed. And you're seeing people then emerge from that. And now we're helping those leaders find their next level, like that starting five that we always talk about. So I think in the beginning, if you were to go back, a year ago, I might have had one or two that were kind of like, hey,
Right.
they're the person that are going to be, that leader. And now it's like 5, 6, 7, and now we're into the second level. And it obviously you have multiple levels. You get to that second level, and it really explodes. So a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of dedication. But I mean, I do that leadership call every week, and it's a voluntary call. Everybody's on it every single week, and all that tells you is that person wants it. They want it. They want to build with you. And then it's just a matter of like talking about the skills and the things that it takes and what it takes to write and to invest and all that good stuff. And then one of the things we do is we dissect calls every week. We'll pick something, just somebody who's out there killing it, and I'll have them give me their feedback and their takeaway. And that has really, really helped because, look, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'll go listen to you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go listen to Grady and Paul and you and Andrew, and the list goes on and on and on. So they take it to heart, and it's really, really taken us to that level. And now it's just ready to even go a little bit further.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now you realize the power of writing a lot of business and what it's able to help you do. I mean, actually, nobody realizes it more than you do, because you set this pace, and it's almost like you're paying 150,000 personal every single month. Which is that your pace? Is that where you need to be?
Yeah, I think it's about 135, 140, somewhere in there.
leaving nothing to chance.
Just reckless abandon out there.
Stephen G, baby, in the booth with me. So, all right. So let's talk about the power that's given you, the ability to write like that. And what is that giving you from a business building, confidence, foundation? What are some things that you've been able to do? Staffing, advertising, off it. Like, what are some of the things you've been able to do because you're consistently writing every single month at a very high level? And how does that transform your confidence?
Yeah, it's so funny because when I'm looking at this bigger office, doubling our space. We outgrew the first space and it did its thing. And I'm sitting there like, all right, well, this is going to cost X, Y, Z. All right, well, I can go out and I could just work a little harder, and I could go write 150, and I could literally pay for the months of rent. I could pay for the furniture and this and that. And then, we just got a great onboarding person and social media person. So you're not really worried about it. And what's so cool about this business, when you want something and you want to make enough money to invest in your business, you have the ability to do it. It's based on how many leads you buy and how hard you work. So I knew the last 3 months, I'm like, all right, this is going to cost this. I'm going to go write this. And then I'm not even going to have to worry about it. And now getting into this office, you just feel that aura, like you feel camaraderie, bigger space, more people, the right staff. Like you really, really feel that positive energy. And I mean, look, personal production is the weapon that allows you to build and grow your business and not even have to worry about it. And it's a blessing that we're able to do that. And we have the lead flow and infrastructure to do it.
100%. Having that type of, you just call it a blessing. I called it a blessing too. I was just so elated that we were able to do that. Like I didn't have to do a bank loan. I didn't have to do some type of business plan. I had to get a land. I didn't have to, I was so elated that I was just able to go load up on leads, book as many as I can, and go help families every single week at a consistent level. That it made me so happy. Like that was never a burden. I don't ever remember feeling burdened to be in the field, like ever. Well, as we started to get big, I had to like move how I did it, but I never was like, man, I got to get out of the field. Like I just was like, I held on for as long as I humanly possibly could, because it was just like I always wanted to be able to empower others, but also have that capital, that flesh of capital to put into something new. Because, like I know, not everything at least back then, not everything you put something into worked.
Yeah.
I think right now the system's a lot more dialed in, but we were throwing money at everything to see what would work. And you still do some
worked all the kinks out.
So that you can save more money, Giordano.
Thanks.
You can put more in the bank because I bled. But you're still doing that too. Like, you still have trial, you still have error, you still have gains, successes, some learning opportunities. What are some things that, you're fleshing through on a regular basis as you are like making these capital expenditures to see, what can happen next, or if I press this button, maybe we can, grow by, 33% or double or whatever.
Yeah, when you're able to utilize just different platforms, just like leads, it's like, okay, you can use your Zips and your Indeeds and your this and your that, your Facebook ads, and you can experiment and understanding that, like, hey, if it doesn't work the first go round, like let it play its course, and then if it really doesn't work, 2 months, 3 months, we can switch and we can change. It's the same way that I learned the regular lead flow and dynamic. You just try different things. Now, like you said, things are very much more dialed in to where the advertising of Family First Life everywhere is amazing. Yeah. And we just, what do we all do? We kind of mimic some stuff, change it, make it our own.
Right.
So I think the ability to just not have fear around trying different things, because you might not win something or find something immediately, but then you might find something that is plentiful. It's like regular leads. I might call 9 and 9 say no, but the one, it'll be 6,000 AP or something, So right. You have to just kind of keep chopping the wood. And I think as time's gone on, and with the ability to have personal production as a backup, you have less fear as time goes on.
Right.
You'll try stuff, because it's the only way you're going to figure it out is by trying stuff.
Right. 100%. And, you're really developing something there, man. I want to talk about your new office space. How does it feel? Like I can tell, like, from the pictures, you could still smell the fresh carpet. Brand new furniture rolling in, 85-inch screens on the back here where you can't even get your full logo on it. I mean, it's got to feel great to I remember the first office in January 2020 and the grand opening. And I always knew you'd like grow out of that pretty quickly. You probably grew out of that faster than you thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you're here in this office. And how many square feet is this?
4,300.
4,300. What was it like, building that space out and starting to move in there and turn this into the spot that's going to take you to, as far as you want to go?
I really loved kind of the figuring out the design, the layout, for setting it up for success for people. Like it's a destination, people come, having success. We'll set up trainings and getting back into BDMs and things like that. So that was really, really cool. And you just kind of felt it. It was needed. Yeah. It was needed for growth, because without it, you can make the argument. Yet, like you said, I grew out of it a little bit too quick, and we needed to make a move sooner. But now we're here, and now it's about the staff and having the right people in it on a day in, day out basis, and really the culture that we build here. Because the culture and the hard work that I try and take to the field, and a lot of the agents on the team take, now we're training new staff on that. And I think if you can hone in all of that, and they're going to kind of work that same way, you're going to have explosive growth. Like, there's no way we've totally failed if we can't have explosive growth off of everything that we're doing. And it's been a lot of work, and you know the drill is the frustrations and the misses, but you just keep at it, and now we're finding some of the right formula, and it's feeling really good, and it energizes you, and it energizes the people here.
Yeah, it energizes everybody. You know, we're kind of going through something now. We're trying to get out of the space we're in to get into something bigger. We just have way overgrown the space. And it's funny how that happens. Like you're like still in a lease, but you blew out of the space and it's time to move on. But it does re-energize everybody because that feel is how you want to feel, right? You know, and your staff, that's how they want to feel. And the agents that are coming in, that's how they want to feel. And we talked about this, you know, like that being the integrity office, you know, that office would be the office that would push you to an integrity deal. Because the thing about new space is it always starts off as more than what you need. And then it turns into something you have too little of. So whenever you grow out of 4,300 square feet, you should be inking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should be, you know, saying hi to integrity. Because the reality is that, you know, you're going to have managers grow in that space, develop in that space, agents develop in that space, staff that's going to get promoted into different levels because they've developed and grown and established themselves in that space. So when that happens, it's growth on top of growth on top of growth, which equals, you know, file cabinets in the wrong place because you have no room for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see that. Now, you're having a grand opening, correct? Can you promote that real quick?
Yeah, September 9th, we're actually going to get some of that stuff out later this week. September 9th, probably 10 to 2. We got a good lineup. You'll be down and a bunch of others, Sean. So pumped and fired up for it.
Yeah, man, that's going to be great. Again, it's a great feeling. I love watching the process, man. Do you remember how frustrated you were as you were trying to
yesterday?
As you were trying to
Which day?
I know you're not where you want to be right now. I got that. But there was a time period where your frustration, and you have a hard head, so you really wanted to run it into a brick wall, and you wouldn't have cracked it. You were frustrated beyond belief about like the traction that you have now that you had to wait to get. Can you describe that and the not that you've mastered it, but that you actually see the forest from the trees now?
Yeah, and it is hard every day because you're in that grind, and it's like you're growing, like you're putting down the building blocks,
right? Sure.
And you're just not always seeing the results right away. And I think as time has gone on, I do think you get better at that balance of it. You know, where we're never going to be excited. Like neither of us are going to say, "Oh man, like we made it." And hell, Sean, with where we are, is the same way. And it's just the culture, which is a great thing because it keeps us moving and motivated. You have to compartmentalize it correctly. You know, like it's almost like saying, you know, I did our staff meeting and I'm like, we had our biggest month. That's awesome. Let's celebrate it for 30 seconds. And now we got to figure out how we duplicate, double, triple, what have you. Right. So I think as time goes on and you do a better job of putting things, you know, where they need to be mentally and how you kind of tackle things and handle your frustration, you understand you are headed in the right direction and you're doing things that are going to take you there. And you're doing things that a lot of times can be uncomfortable, but you have to do them at that point because getting uncomfortable in any aspect of this business is the only way you're truly going to grow.
No question. How many recruiters do you have right now?
Right now, 1. We're looking at a 2nd, and on the team total, we got about 4.
Okay, so other managers are now also have recruiters. Are they all working out of your office, or are they working in different locations?
2 of them are here, and 2 of them are in other locations. So we're going to get another one here. So we have 3 here.
Got it. And what is your goal for $1 million a month?
We need to be 1.1 by the end of December. Okay. And I say 1.1 just because if I write 100. So we need to be $1 million outside of me.
You mean 1.115, right? You gotta write 150.
Yeah, 1.15 by the end of December, and we're on the pace, but now it's kind of you're coming around that bend where you're a little over halfway through the year, and now it's like, all right. If you thought we worked hard before, Now we really got to work
But
hard.
this time of
to
the year,
really end this strong.
this time of the year has a great way of collapsing time. You know what I mean? Like people are more,
Yeah.
driven and motivated and ready in the fourth quarter, which is, we call September the fourth quarter. It really is. It's the last try of the year, but that back to school feeling creates a sense of crazy normalcy for most people, which allows for a lot of people to be home, clients. So every agent in your agency is going to have a lot more success with sits and sales and AP because people are just, life's back to kind of being normalized from a standpoint of the summer and vacations and what have you. So that's going to be momentous for you. When you think about the decision you made to produce at this level, what went into that decision? Like what, because it did gradually grow. I remember it was 19. It was like May 2019. You did like 80,000 or June. Which month was that?
Yeah, I think it was May. Yeah.
And it went from like 21. I know the numbers. It was 21, 34, 57, 80. Am I right? No. So one of those, that was it.
That was it.
And that was the first year you actually were selling. But at what point did you realize, like, I could do over 100 a month and I can sustain that while showing people it can be done, while helping my people try to do similar numbers and be top producers?
Yeah, it was right around that time where I was just like, okay, like, look at what can be done if you just break down the numbers correctly, if you're breaking down the lead flow, if you're adding more, if you're working harder. And it just became like, let's really, really pour into this. Let's see how hard we can push it. Like, how high can we raise the bar here?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of just skyrocketed. And I think there's a piece of me, the challenge of all of it, as opposed to the money, because the money's there. Like, right. The money's going to be there. This is an industry we make money. We know that.
Right.
The challenge of it, and now even the challenge of the balance of that agency growth, hiring, all the things that go into it, and all the hours. What I've looked at is time frames of sacrifice. Like, we're talking a 3-year. Like, let's say, I don't want to jinx anything, but let's say if it's now board member and 1.3, 1.5, whatever it's going to be, and doing whatever, call it 3 million in 3 years, like, the sacrifice of 3 years can literally set you up for so much prosperity in your life and so much, getting time back and different things for yourself. Giving up that time would be so worth it and is so worth it, and I think that's something that just kind of clicked for me. I'm like, let me just do it, and then you'll live the way you want to live,
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think it's a great message for people who are looking for change, but may be reluctant to the commitment or the sacrifice. And I think there is some blockage there for people. And when you say it the way you're saying it, it's just like, why not just do it? Why not just, give it your all for this window? And this window will set up so much of your life. And then you buy all this time back. It's almost like it's like a loan on time. Amortized over 3 years. And I can pay it down, after the third year. And balloons in 3 years. I just made that up. I like that. That's pretty good. But, that's how it feels as I heard it. And as I started saying it, it's like, you're borrowing time for future time. So when you put that all into perspective, Steve, and you're talking to a new agent or a new manager that says, I want to do it too. I want to sell and I want to build something. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I think talking about what the sacrifice looks like and being very, very real and raw as to what the whole picture is going to look like. And one of the interesting things is some of the managers we have, they want it. They don't just lip service that they want it. They actually live it now that they want it. And it's all because of, like, you laid the foundation for me and the things that I saw that you did and things that you communicated to me. And now they're seeing the things in the way I do things. When you do it that way and you get people that they raise their hand and they volunteer for it, and it's not me saying, you need to do this and why are you not working hard enough, and they're just doing it because they want it. That's the most amazing feeling, because that's true leadership, because that means that those people recognize what it is and what it looks like and what it's going to take.
Yeah.
And they're just doing it with you. And it wasn't you had to be the one that forced them to do it. So, I have people now that they're totally raising their hands and saying, I'm all in and I'm willing to give it every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears, because we see that that's what you did and we see that it's possible. And God knows I'm nothing special, and they see that. And I think that's a very, very powerful thing. And now you're seeing it with other people that they work with, that second level that we talked about earlier, and they see what it takes. And when you get enough people here that see what it takes and then do what it takes, it's over. Yeah. Because you can conquer whatever you want. I mean, I've proved it in so many others on personal production. Many people have proved it on agency production. Whatever you're going to give it, you're going to get. And if you can give it a little bit more always, you're going to always get so much more back than what you put into it. Yeah. And it's just going to explode.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. Steve, you're writing $150,000 a month personally. What does your lead budget look like for that?
It's about $2,500 to $3,000 a week.
So true to the more than a 10x. So anywhere between $10,000 a month and $12,000 a month, you're investing to write or to issue $150,000 a month.
Yeah.
I wanted that on wax, so that people don't think like you have to invest money to grow something. It's not just like, and as you're investing $10,000 to $12,000 a month, it's yielding you something greater. The exact words you just said, numerically spoken. The $12,000 you invest yields you $150,000, which is a net gain of $138,000 a month. Now, obviously, you have other expenses, but if we just looked at the cost of the leads to your personal production, that's staggering. Could you do this on less leads with less money?
Absolutely not. Not a chance.
So, if I wanted, and how many appointments do you run a week?
Typically 25 to 30.
God bless. So, but if I wanted to do this at that level, I could do it too, but I have to invest that kind of money on leads, because the investment is going to yield the return, correct?
Absolutely. And here's the way you should look at it. I got a bill the other day for, one of my lead drops, whatever it was, and it was very, very high. And you know what I did? I was like, yes. I was so excited. I was like, that's awesome. It was one of the highest ones I've ever had on a drop. And I'm like, awesome. That means they're going to be pouring in. That's how you have to look at leads. Not, I can't spend $300. Yeah. How could I possibly spend $300 more? You can't look at it that way.
No doubt. Now, when you're putting that kind of money up and you're expecting that kind of result, what kind of leads would you say you're kind of combing through on a regular basis?
It's interesting. This morning I was light and I went in and there was like hundreds of $2.50 aged mortgage. And I was like, I'm going to buy 100 of them. It was a 35% discount and it was like literally $169 for 100 aged mortgage mailers that are brand new exclusive to FFL. And I'm like, cool. I'm just going to like pound the phones on these and whatever. If I get 5 appointments and I sell a few, they cost me $200.
No doubt.
So I think, in general terms, I mean, you just have to, anybody, just get in there and try just different stuff and just fill your plate. Because as long as you work, you're always going to be fine. I have people, they say to me, I'll post some door knock stuff and this and that. And they're like, wait a minute. So the $1 million producer's door knocking, why is he doing that? And my response is, the reason I'm the $1 million producer is because I'm door knocking.
Right.
Why aren't you? What are you doing?
That's great, dude.
You can either have time or money, right? So when you start, you don't have money, you have time.
Right.
So what do you need to do with time?
Mm-hmm.
Go buy 100 aged mortgage mailers.
Right.
And dial them, get in front of them, door knock them all day long. I have money and I'm still doing the activity that I don't have money.
Right.
Because that's how I want to go about things.
Right.
I want to go about it like I never want to change who I am. I always want to be true to it because being true to it gets you where it's gotten me. So why change it now?
Yeah.
It's working.
It's going to get you where you're going, man. So,
and it creates the culture in your team too. I have people that are like, why, like agents on the team, they're like, why are you still door knocking? I'm like, why not? That's what we do.
Right.
That's how you get in front of people. That's how you make big numbers.
Right.
This is a volume game.
No doubt. And it's funny how people want you to evolve faster than that you care. Like, they're like, well, why are you still doing that? Well, why aren't you flying first class? Well, why don't you have a Benz? Why don't you have a Bentley? It's like, dude, I'm cool. I kind of know what's going on, dude. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have to be the judge of whether I can door knock or not. It's okay. It's all right. This is how we got here. I'm good. I got to stay true to my system, myself, and like I'm not going to overdo anything for the public, approval. I'm going to do what I need to do to lead and grow, develop and shape and mold. So, Steve, man, I appreciate it, buddy. You're killing it. I love that you are on just had your best month ever as a team. Love the new office from the pictures I've seen. Can't wait to get down there next month and kiss the floor. And I'm looking forward to the 1.15 million by December, and you eclipsing your personal production goal that I haven't said yet, and we will sign off with your personal production goal of 1.5 million, and the biggest bonus ever paid out to an insurance agent in FFL history. Leave us with that goal, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah, that producer bonus came out $100,000 and on to do 1.5, and I'm just gonna keep working, and I never worry about like the goal of the number. I worry about give me 30 appointments, and give me enough leads, give me enough appointments. I'll put the work behind it and let the chips fall where they may. But I'm gonna give it my all and see where we get, and no pressure. You said at the meeting when I was there, you got to strive under the pressure, and I agree with you.
The thing is I know you too well now. There's no way you missed the 1.5 million. Because I'm just going to keep working to the 1.5 million. So that is a great way to sign off. I appreciate you joining us. FFL Health and Wealth, Steve Giordano. Love you, man. Appreciate all you do.
Love you, bro. Appreciate it.
Good stuff. Training Day signing off. Love you guys. Let's keep plugging it.